Welcome back. This is China Hiking Challenge. This is day 3. And a reminder, these videos are from 2023. As you can see on the screen, it's 2023. And people have asked me why I am posting these so late, because obviously it's 2026. These videos are nearly 3 years old. And one of the reasons is these videos were taken during National Week, and that's the first week in October in China. That's a holiday week. And the week after, I got right back into work, and I was just so busy. Honestly, I forgot about these videos. Not to say I'm not busy now, but I'm actually going back over these videos, and I thought these were pretty cool to post. Another reason is I'm able to use Google Maps and Baidu Maps. And I, in day 2, showed some of the strengths and the weaknesses in Google Maps and Baidu Maps. And so it's really nice to have these both that I can open, because using Google and Google Maps in China is not the easiest. It's just easier to use Baidu. And so it's a very big advantage to be able to use these two and show you guys what it was like back there to go hiking for me, and especially Shenzhen. So, as you can see, on day 3, I climbed Meilin and Tanglang. You can call it mountain or hill. I'll show you why. It's probably hills, and it has to do with the height. Excuse me. So the part of Meilin Mountain, it says it here on Google, mountain, but it's so short. 362 meters is not that high. I don't even know if I went up that high, to be perfectly honest. And I definitely was not in the northern part. Let's see. For Tanglang, that one's a little bit taller. Again, I'm not sure if I even made it up 430 meters. I'm honestly not sure how high I went up. And again, 1,400 feet high is not really considered a mountain. It's still a hill, even though it was kind of rugged in some places. There are established steps, as you'll see in the pictures. So it's okay if you say mountain, but again, hill is probably more what it'd be considered, at least back in the States. Okay, so, whoops, I'm zoomed in. So, have you take a look at, these are the 2 hills that I climbed. The one on the right here, the one here on the, whoops, sorry, nope, zoom out a bit more. This side, this one over here is Meilin, it says Meilin Hill Park, or you can say mountain, it's fine. Meilin Mountain Park. And then you have Tanglang Hill or Mountain Park on this side. So east side is Meilin, west side is Tanglang. So where did I enter? Let's use Google Maps. Let's see. Oops, no. Let's use Google Maps. Okay, this is one of those strengths of Google Maps. The strength of Google Maps is it shows me the names of these paths. So I entered. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the exact way from the metro stop that I got in, but I can say I definitely entered through here, based off of the pictures that I took. So came up around here, and then in one of the pictures I have a Damo Pavilion, and there you go. And then we walk up. Another one is Xiaofeng Pavilion. Now, I had to remember, because I have Western more Western thinking now that I've left China. In I'm not sure if they actually read this left or to the right, but I'm going to guess that it was probably right to left because I do know they had old writings that went from right to left, top to bottom. But on the pictures in the pavilions, it's probably likely that it was read right to left. And that may explain why it's showing Dammo Pavilion. And I'll show you in the pictures later. So Dammo Pavilion, then we have Xiaofeng Pavilion. I definitely went this direction, walked up, 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 crossed over, and here I turned right. And this is where I'm gonna have to look at at Baidu Maps. All right, here we go. Let's zoom in. Here we go. So let's see. Sorry. All right, so loop around like that. All right, go back. Loop around like that. Come up. So one of the pavilions was over here. Another one of the pavilions were somewhere over here. And then I went up, 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 up. I'm trying to zoom in to make sure this is really clear for you guys. Crossed over these roads. Kept going. Now I can go left or right. I went right. And then I went up. Kept going up, kept going up, kept going up. Now I'm not sure here whether I took, let me zoom in to make sure it's very clear for you guys. If I took this one or I took this one. I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest. Either one that I chose probably had amazing views. And then came back, even though I'm probably going to guess it's this one, but came back this way, came down, and I'm heading towards, pretty sure, yep, towards Tanglang. And then you keep going, as you can see, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and here. This is where I stopped for a moment to figure out how to get down this hill. So the way I took, according to the pictures, I actually have pictures from up here. Oops, sorry. There we go. From up here, I decided to take a left, go down, and to pass through. It's a lot more clear in the Baidu version. Is this Baidu? Anyways, in this version, it's a lot more clear how to get there. So go down here. It took these steps, to be perfectly honest. But again, I'm not too sure. Here's more steps, down, 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 cut through. There you go. And then I'm going to come to a place where I have to either take a right or a left. And according to the pictures, so next picture over. Next picture over. Here shows I'm going to take a left. Take a left and come out here. So take a left and come out here. And I'll zoom in one more time for the characters. It's in the English I saw Dragon Ball or Dragon Pearl Gate, and then zoom back out. Walk down this street through this neighborhood, and I do actually remember this. I'm recalling some memories. And then I did stop to get something to eat at one of these restaurants, and in this neighborhood on the left hand side. It was somewhere in here. I did stop at a restaurant. I do remember that. And then enter through Taoyuan Tun metro stop, exit D. And as you can see, go through the neighborhood, metro stop, exit D. All right, so from where I started. So this is the area that I lived in day 2. I broke down exactly the general area where I lived and where I worked. So you can go back to day 2, zoom, you can fast forward through until I talk about where I used to live. In the Chinese, here we go. Oh, this is Google Maps. Google Maps, this is the weakness of Google Maps, metro stops. Bus stops are good. Metro stops, not so much. This is a metro stop. And I lived in this general area, as I stated in day 2. But for some reason, I did not leave from my home metro stop. I took my e-bike, parked it over here at Mumian metro stop. And I started from there. Don't know where I started that day. Unfortunately, I don't know what I was doing earlier in the day. And here's the Chinese Dafan. And then, oh, there we go. The internet is better. This is the general area I lived in. And then that's the metro stop or train stop. There you go. And then I took my e-bike all the way down to Mumian. And I parked over here on this side for some crazy reason. I can't tell you why. I don't know what I was doing that day. To reiterate, don't know what I was doing that day. So let's move this video along. So here is the metro system. So I'll go through this pretty quickly. Day 2, you can go back to day 2 and take a look at metro stops, and I'll break it down even more where I lived and worked, or the general area. There we go. Started from Dafan, which is this sky blue is line 3, but did not start from there. That's where I lived. Started from Mumian, and then I transferred at line 7, Tianbei, and then transferred again at Hongling North, and then came, that's line 9, and then got off at Meijing metro stop. Then to come back, I started from Taoyuan. So one of the directions could have been to go up Taoyuan, transfer at Xili, and then transfer again at Buji. That is line 5. That purple one is line 5. And then transfer at Buji to Mumian, metro stop, take my e-bike back to Dafan. Or I could have been lazy and went the complete opposite way and said, I don't want to transfer. So I could have taken Taoyuan, stayed on it all the way this way, and then transferred at Tianbei, and then gotten off at Mumian. It could have been either one of those two. Let's look at the cost, at least for the one heading towards the hills. Let's see. Mumian, and then line 9, 18. There it is. For some reason that did not come up. All right. That took a moment. Okay, so the cost is around 5 yuan, which is about 75 cents for America and a little over an Australian dollar for those in Australia. And then there you go. Past 4 stations, starting at Mumian, past 4 stations. Transfer at Tianbei. Transfer, go 3 more stops. Transfer at Hongli North. passing 7 stations, and get off at Meijing. Now, it said 40 minutes. Anybody who knows me, I walk slow. And even though I did walk pretty fast in those days, what it says estimated, but depending if it's the peak time, and I started around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know if the trains are running as frequently, so it could be almost 10 minutes. Sometimes that you're waiting about 5 or 6 minutes for a train. Excuse me. So it could be about 10 minutes in between each one, even though they run pretty well on time, but they do slow down and pick up at certain times of the day. And then getting onto the train and off the train is sometimes a nightmare. So it could have easily taken me 50 to 55 minutes to get there. And then coming back, but we're not going to start from Meijing. We're going to start, unfortunately, I'm going to have to clear it out. And Taoyuan to Wuminwan. Yeah, that way it says max about 50 or so, 50. So it could have taken, honestly, it could have taken over an hour. A little over an hour, especially if I took the lazy way of just staying on one, could have taken way over an hour. But it would have given me time to rest because this, again, was day 3. And that's already 2 consecutive days of hills. Even though I was quite healthy, I was very active at that point in time. I probably was starting to feel really tired after climbing 2 sets of hill, getting down to the base because going over Meilin, I come all the way back down almost to street level and then going right back up into Tanglang. Yeah, I probably was feeling it. After about 5 hours of, let's see, started around 3, finished around that, got those directions, and that was around 6:45. I probably didn't make it down until almost 7:38 because I did stop for something. I do have that in the pictures. I did stop for a drink, and then I stopped for food, so I probably didn't make it home till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And the cost, 6 yuan, again, that in USC, that's not even $1, probably around 90 or so cents. And then for Australian dollar, that is a little over $1, like 10, $1.20. So, now moving on to the pictures. Here's the bike I rented to ride to the entrance of Meilin Hill. This map has alternate entrances, and so I zoomed in for you to see alternate entrances. So I'll try to read some of these signs as best as I can. So it says to the left is Damor Pavilion, and to the right is May Hill entrance. All right, so here's a picture of the first pavilion. So if you're reading it left to right, it's Pavilion Mo Dan, or if you're reading it right to left, it's Dan Mo Pavilion. Okay, starting from the top, that says May Hill entrance. The second one down, it says Xiaofeng Pavilion. That's heading to the left. The next one down is Damor Pavilion. That's heading to the right. And then heading straight is Public Places. Here's a picture of our second pavilion. If you're reading it left to right, it's Pavilion Feng Xiao. And if you're reading it right to left, it's Xiaofeng Pavilion. So we're going to start from bottom to top this time. So if I was to head back, that was Dammo Pavilion, and that was 1,000 meters back. And then Xiaofeng Pavilion was 580 meters back, but heading towards Meiyu Pavilion, which was about 2,200 meters ahead. Here is a lookout point. I'm not sure the name of it. Here's another lookout point, but I'm not sure its name. It says to the left is Tanglang Hill Country Park. So I start to head down, and for me, that is one of the hard parts, going down, because it's a different muscle group, and I'm pretty sure I was already starting to feel tired. The top sign pointed to the left says Shenyun Gate Entrance, and the bottom one says Chaoxiang Entrance and Exit. At this point, I finally made it to Tanglang Country Park. It's 5:45 in the evening. Here's a map of the various trails and pavilions. The sun is setting pretty quickly. At this point, it's 6:20 in the evening, and this is 6:30 in the evening. Here's a place where I earlier mentioned that I sat and I found the quickest way down the mountain on my phone. So I stop here and I grab a drink. It was probably some type of black tea drink. And it's 7 o'clock at this point. I've made it to the bottom of the hill at this point, and it's 7:56 at night. Thank you for watching Day 3 China Hiking Challenge, where I climbed Meilin and Tanglang Hills. Okay, so I'm going to try something a little different. I'm actually going to give you a sneak peek of Day 4. However, I'm going to let it stay in Chinese and see if you guys can figure out how to either copy or to try and find out what this hill actually is.